I think that one of the most difficult experiences is to see clearly your potential and having no external evidence for it yet. I call it the pain of unexpressed potential. When I was in my transformation, like in the middle of the process, I thought, okay, this is the most difficult part. What can be more difficult than the dark night of the soul? Then, when the void phase came, the integration phase came, and I was feeling extremely lonely, and I was feeling like I'm not belonging anywhere. And my videos were expressing this stage of my life. I thought that, okay, I thought that being in the middle of the transformation is so difficult, but this void phase, which is very lonely, and you are very isolated usually. This is it. And I thought, this is really difficult, right? So when the integration phase was over for me, and when I could finally see who I have become, what my potential is, what my mission is, what I want to create, to build, how I want to lead, I thought, okay, like, the worst is over, right? This is going to be like, beautiful journey from now. And again, it's not easy, like at all. Because there is this huge gap between who you are, and you can see clearly your potential, your full potential. Because earlier in your life, because before your transformation, you cannot clearly see your potential because you have all these masks on you, all these layers of shame, of guilt, of not being enough. Unworthiness is something very common. So you cannot see your potential clearly. But after your transformation, when all these layers are gone, when all these false identities are gone, when your persona is finally collapsed, you can see clearly your potential. And it's usually much bigger than you thought it is. So you see this whole potential, but there is a huge gap between who you are and what your life is reflecting at the moment. Because your old life is gone, and all the structures related to your old life, they are gone. And they are anyways too small for you right now. But the new life is under construction. And there is this huge frustration, and at least for me, this is frustration. I'm being honest with you that there is this frustration that, gosh, I know who I am and what I'm capable of and what is available to me. But I'm looking at the external reality and there's no evidence of it. And this is not from the place of ego. If you are here on this channel, like if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I consider myself spiritually mature, and I'm not at this point in my life, but this is also like, the consequence of transformation, that you're not performing from the ego. So it's not this, from ego, I'm so, I'm designed from, for greatness, or I'm the chosen one. But this is like really honest. And I'm getting emotional while talking about this, and it means it's true. This is like very honest, deep recognition. This is like soul level recognition. And okay, so there is this gap and the frustration is there, but of course I don't want to just to talk about how difficult it is, but I also want to talk about like what to do now, how to behave now. And now the embodiment phase comes. So now it's time to start building in real life your new structure. And I love to build structures. This is what I was doing my entire life, in my previous professional life in European structural funds industry, and in my coaching business. But you're starting again from the scratch. Because as I said before, the old structures are too small. Like, for example, I've been building my online coaching business for 3 years now, but it was Polish language. And after my transformation, I decided to go global. This is seeing your potential, right? And I want to build a global brand. So I'm building a new English language structure from the scratch. And although I'm an expert in building structures, and I mean it, this is difficult because, guys, I'm 48. I will be 48 in July. And you're starting from the scratch. Again. Again. And this is difficult, right? But there is no other way. There is no other way. You need to act. You need consistency. You need discipline. You need to build your new life, your new business, your new structures from like day by day, step by step. There is no other way. And earlier, the integration phase, of course, this is like you need time to integrate your transformation, your process, right? So, of course, it's very rarely the case that you're doing like absolutely nothing. But there is no point, of course, in forcing any action. You need time to integrate. This is it. But what I can see very often, that if you have already integrated your transformation and now there is time to start the embodiment phase, many people get stuck because they are like still waiting for clarity, or maybe this is not the right moment, because this is the time to move. During your transformation, during the integration phase, you are, like generally speaking, you are not moving, right? It's more internal. These are internal phases. But the embodiment phase, the embodiment stage is all about the movement. And clarity comes through action. So you will not have full clarity about your new direction once you're, doing nothing. And this is where, as I said, many people get stuck. That we are so used to being in the healing phase, being in these internal processes all the time for such a long time, that we don't have this habit of everyday action. And this is what embodiment phase requires from us, everyday action. And a lot of resilience, and a lot of endurance, and a lot of patience, because you can't build an empire in a day, although I would love to. So this is exactly what I do with my clients in 3 months private mentorship. That at the beginning we are stabilizing the new identity, but then we are moving in the real world. And I'm working with people who are ready to move, Okay, you may be stuck. You may feel that, gosh, like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know what my direction is. I don't have clarity about my new identity and what I want to do in my work, in my business, right? So, but as I said, clarity comes through action. So at the beginning of the cooperation, it might be, again, as I said, a little bit of this internal process of stabilizing new identity, if it's not stable yet, but then there is movement. Real, life, grounded action. Real, grounded, consistent action. So if you feel lonely, if you are, first of all, in this phase I'm talking about, and you feel lonely there, you can reach out to me. I have a few spaces available now for this one-on-one mentorship. And this is so important to have someone in your life who is supporting you in this phase. And the huge difference for me between the void phase and the place I'm in right now, the beginning of embodiment phase, the huge difference is that I'm not alone in it anymore. And that my life partner is at the same stage as I am. Our paths are very similar, actually. And he's supporting me and I'm supporting him. So I know, and it's so much easier. It's so much easier when you have someone who can have your back. Because there will be days when you're so frustrated. There will be days when, really bad days. And this is also my case. When I'm, waking up in the morning, seriously, still no evidence. And I'm putting so much effort. And this is so important not to be alone in it. This is it for today. Let me know in the comments, where are you now? What are you going through? What is difficult for you right now in the moment, in this particular phase you are right now? Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.